Aries, don't confuse attraction with a real answer. Today, the heart wants cleaner proof. The useful move is small, but it cuts cleanly. A sentence spoken at home should no longer take over the whole scene. Venus makes the home root's emotional base field a test of balance. Pleasure only works if it doesn't erase respect. This is the moment when someone looks at you, texts you, or provokes you, and you see whether you want truth or fast relief. It's not enough that a sentence spoken at home makes you feel alive. It also has to leave you clearer, not more dependent on someone else's response. The stakes are simple. Don't let yourself be chosen just because you're afraid of not being seen. For Aries, the day rewards you if you stay quick, but not automatic. If that signal lights you up but shrinks you, the bill arrives as dignity. Move. Name what you feel with restraint, but don't give more presence than the other person can actually hold. Share it with the person who needs to stay whole inside a love choice today. Taurus. When a conversation left hanging comes back, the message is clear. Enough theory, now real friction. The point speaks quietly. A conversation left hanging reveals itself in the detail that shifts your footing right away. Mercury is moving the words exchanges near environment field. One phrase, one detail, one reply can change the rhythm. It's the kind of opening that feels too small to change the day, until you miss it. The opening doesn't stay open out of politeness. If a call to move before the noise shows up, it wants an answer before habit returns. The stakes are simple. Do you want the movement you say you want, or just the comfort of imagining it? For Taurus, understanding everything is not enough if a call to move before the noise is left without a choice. If you leave a real possibility untouched, it stays an idea and loses substance. Move. Don't negotiate with the block all day. At most, give it time to be named. Come back here when you're about to say it's not the right time yet, even though the point is already ripe.
Gemini. There's a narrow opening for Gemini. If you wait too long, it turns into noise. The day leaves you two doors open. Behind one, you keep peace for an hour. Behind the other, you keep respect for the real point. Mercury is pressing on the resources, money, value axis. Understanding is not enough. You have to say the thing cleanly. This is the kind of opening that feels almost too small to change anything until you miss it. The opening doesn't stay open out of courtesy. If an invitation to move before the noise is calling, it wants an answer before habit returns. The real stake is knowing whether you truly want the shift you keep talking about, or only the comfort of picturing it. For Gemini, knowing everything is useless if an invitation to move before the noise stays unanswered. If you leave the real possibility without a gesture, the chance stays an idea and loses body. Move. Choose one verifiable step and take it before your mind opens too many exits. Save it for the moment when fear tries to pass itself off as common sense.
Cancer. The day is not asking for theatrical courage. It's asking for a verifiable act. This is not about theory. An operational knot to untie touches the way you protect time, desire, boundaries, or dignity. The Neptunian climate on the identity-body-presence axis wants poetry only after the minimum facts are clear. This is the moment when you realize the problem no longer needs better analysis, but a move that shrinks it. For Cancer, feeling deeply is a strength only if it doesn't push you into automatic self-sacrifice. As long as you only watch, an operational knot to untie looks bigger. The second you choose the first step, it loses power. If you don't touch the real knot now, tomorrow you may have less energy and the same problem. If that move keeps waiting, tomorrow will take more strength for the same thing. Move. Do right away what lowers noise and ambiguity, even if it doesn't make you look perfect. Save it if you need a reminder that the block survives mostly on your well-explained delay. Leo. Attraction only matters today if it leaves your measure intact, not if it forces you to chase. This is a closeness that could genuinely warm you or pull you back into an old script if you enter without a boundary. Tighten the frame. One real detail is enough for a contact that tests the boundary to stop looking theoretical. With Venus in the words exchanges near environment field, The sky measures how much value you give before you ask for respect. The living part doesn't ask for spectacle. It wants you to know whether a contact that tests the boundary brings presence or only a need for validation. For Leo, today's value lies in not using force as a cover for discomfort. The stakes are not letting your need to be chosen make you call something love when it doesn't keep you whole. If the living part moves you but doesn't protect you, the bill can show up as confusion, dependency, or a surrendered dignity. Move. Ask one direct question and watch whether the answer stays present. Come back here before you answer from the place that only wants to be chosen.
Virgo, the point is not a number. It's what you lose just to close fast. The moon makes visible the thing you should not handle on autopilot. It's that half-said number, the vague estimate, the bill that looks small until it becomes yours. Saying fine feels elegant. The problem is that then you pay the price. The bill doesn't arrive shouting. It arrives when you pay to avoid a conversation. Virgo, if you optimize discomfort too, you risk making it elegant instead of stopping it. A vague number is not kindness. It's a cost waiting for the right moment to come out. Are you asking for clarity? Or are you paying not to look difficult? Reread the number, the promise, and the real cost. Confirm only what stays clean. Then confirm. But first you have to see the number, the promise, and the cost without fog. Move. Pin down the figures before agreeing. Save it before you confirm. Today the winner is the one who doesn't let speed buy them off. Libra. The useful care today is not soft because it is weak. It is precise because it has to survive pressure. The bill doesn't always come as money. Today, a body that no longer wants to negotiate can cost rhythm, dignity, or mental space. With Venus on stage, the identity-body-presence axis doesn't want a fast fairy tale. It wants an agreement that doesn't drain you. This is the point where recovery stops looking like a luxury and becomes the base for not ruining everything else. If you remove one unnecessary request, you don't lose strength. You recover it where it actually matters. For Libra, the risk is saving the atmosphere and losing the boundary you needed. If you keep treating recovery like an optional extra, the day can end with more presence lost than real results. The risk is ending the day on your feet, but with a level of presence too low to choose well. Move, close one small cycle, and leave out the request that drains you. Save it if today you need an adult permission not to spend your good margin where it isn't needed. Scorpio. If a window asking for immediate presence knocks softly today, don't wait until it becomes obvious. First frame. Something in a window asking for immediate presence looks at you before you've even decided what to do with it. Venus activates the vision travel study axis. Desire, value, and boundary need a clearer shape. If you wait for certainty, the useful signal turns into noise. If you act with measure, it becomes direction. This is the moment when something opens, but only if you stop waiting for a guarantee. For Scorpio, the risk is controlling the scene perfectly and leaving the center unresolved. If you stay too composed, the useful moment can pass and leave you with only an elegant version of regret. If you let the useful signal evaporate, you don't just lose a chance. You also lose confidence in your ability to recognize it. Move. Choose where the opening is most real and give it an immediate minimum shape so it can't evaporate. Send it to the person who could miss an opening by calling it a detail. Sagittarius. The breakthrough doesn't arrive when everything is clear. It arrives when you stop circling. The knot is not huge, but it is precise. A tension that asks for a clean action decides how clear you stay in the scene. The Mars transit through the home root's emotional base area lights the fuse. It's up to you to use it to open, not to burn. It's an operational tension that feels almost banal, which is exactly why it's dangerous. You delay it, and it still shapes your tone. The block keeps looking huge as long as you speak to it from a distance. The second you touch a tension that asks for a clean action, its authority drops.
The stakes are stopping yourself from making a blockage respectable just because you've been polite to it for too long. For Sagittarius, vision only matters today if it accepts the boundary that makes it workable. If you don't touch the fixed point today, tomorrow may cost you more energy for the same decision. Move. Close one door. Send one reply. Shift one commitment. Just one thing, but real. Carry it with you when the block tries to sound polite.
Capricorn. If the value is unclear, don't fill the gap with politeness. The first step matters because it moves an implied cost from thought into the real world. Mercury lights up the resources money value axis. If the wording is vague, the choice loses shape too. This is the point where a seemingly small request starts telling you who is really setting the price. Without a concrete measure, the conversation can feel kind while moving the cost onto you. For Capricorn, the risk is managing the weight skillfully and still letting it keep the throne. The stakes are not allowing social or emotional discomfort to set the price in place of your judgment. The risk is leaving the scene without conflict and returning tomorrow with less margin, less time, and less position. Move. If the boundary is real, write it or say it now, before it has already been crossed. Write it down before the invisible cost turns into normal habit. Aquarius. Today, the opening doesn't arrive shouting. It comes through a professional margin. Mark the limit without drama. A professional margin needs an edge, not another explanation. With Mercury prominent, the identity body presence axis becomes a test of precision. Less noise, more useful language. This is the moment when something opens, but only if you stop waiting for a guarantee. Real openings rarely show up twice with the same clarity. The real possibility has to be treated as living time. The stakes are knowing whether you truly want the movement you keep talking about, or only the comfort of imagining it. For Aquarius, mental distance helps only if it doesn't become a polished way to stay out of the scene. The subtle loss is delaying so well that you don't feel guilty, but long enough to close the opening. Move, lock in a reply, a time, or a practical gesture before doubt widens the corridor. Replay it when the useful moment tries to pass as a mere logistical detail. Pisces. For Pisces, recovery today is not escape. It's maintenance of clarity. The opening is not huge, but it is real. Give an overload to ease now a response while it's still alive. Venus on the desire, creativity, pleasure field opens contact, but also the harder question. How much are you giving just to feel chosen? This is a real pause, not a pause loaded with guilt and explanations. Useful calm doesn't numb you. It gives an overload to ease now a shape you can actually carry. For Pisces, depth becomes strength when it accepts the boundary that makes it readable. Today, the real loss would be sacrificing good clarity to save urgencies that are not all yours. The loss is not pausing for a moment. It's letting the drain return later as a judgment error. Move. Protect 1 hour, one boundary, or one slow reply. Today, recovery has to be organized, not hoped for. Replay it before forcing a part that is clearly asking for measure.